Northern Kentucky really ran some great action. And I know I told you against SMU, this game, it just is incredible what video and copy for people has done. The stuff they were running off, what I call a rise up action. I have not seen, we have not seen, and it counters what we need to do, what we normally do. So we had to make quick adjustments, and this was one time our guys had to really think on the fly. And who was the hot guy, and who was fighting over the screen, and what the matchup was, and who the guy was. And they ran it, and they ran it, and they ran it, and it was, sometimes they got easy baskets. At the same time, it's the best tool for us to improve. So it wasn't like a couple of the other games we've had where it was action we guard every day in practice. So it's much like you'll see when we play some of the really good teams down the road here that run alternate or run such good action. You have to make reads. You got to do it really well. So I'm really proud of that. I'm happy with obviously the first half. Duncan was incredible the way he shot the ball, even from distance and guarded. And then Karras in the whole game was terrific. It was great to see D. Walton back there again. Zach Irvin. We went with a really short bench. I really trusted those guys that were in there, and we ended up. I just felt that team could go with their big guys, could score at will against us. He led the country in field goal percentage last year. Billups led the entire country. We're having trouble guarding him with our young guys, and thought they could get back in the game too early, so we kept a short bench, and may see more of that, may not.
Right over here with Tony.
John, triple doubles don't come around very often. Just what do they mean to you as a coach, and how impressed were you with what Karras was able to do?
I just knew he was having a really good game. You all are looking at that scoreboard. So I told them, I said, when everybody started cheering, I said, what just happened? Are they giving out free hamburgers or something when he scored a certain number of points? I didn't know what was going on. You guys could all see that stuff. I have no idea. He was just having a really good game. But it is, whether if he had 9, 9, and 9, it's the same thing. So it's not like this all of a sudden this great thing. But I think we've had Darius Morris do it, Manny Harris do it, and now to have Karras do it, it's pretty good. I think Gary Grant's the only other one that has done it. So it's good to have it in front of this crowd with his mother in the stands, the whole deal. And scores 1,000 points as well. That also happened tonight.
Coach, you said you didn't know. Karras said DJ told him when he was an assist and a rebound away. Is it the kind of thing where you'd rather have DJ?
Yeah.
Don't tell him.
Yeah, no, I probably never would have done that. I mean, I guess I would. If they would have told me he needed 1, but I just don't coach that way. I let the stats be the stats, and don't. Afterwards, I just feel in the game. What do we got to do to score? But he's going to have a chance to. He's got to do the rebounding. But we're going to dial him up for assists and points.
When Duncan has a shooting first half like that, how much does it open up things for other people after that?
That's exactly why they chose to give, probably too much help off him in the first half. Second half, they just shut him down. They just said, he ain't going to get it. So we got to find ways to get him open. But I didn't want to, without us working harder, that's the magnitude of what he's doing for us, I think we saw in the first half, because he was shooting behind screens. He had guys on him and he was shooting. He's got a swag to when he's shooting it. That was impressive. Those weren't 6 open threes. There were about 3 or 4 of them. There was a guy in them pretty good. But that's where I told you before, his height, that really helps.
Right.
I guess what was the pregame conversation with Derek about?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday, we felt, it was more yesterday, when he practiced full out, had just a touch of soreness, and he said, I really feel good. I'm ready to go. And so today, there was no real, I just asked him before the game, Derek, how you feel? He said, great. But we went in this game plan to start based on yesterday's practice.
And what'd you see from? How would you?
Well, I thought it was good. I think yesterday he couldn't make a shot in practice. So I love seeing his first 3 go in that second half. But I thought he looked good. He's still having trouble pushing off the bad ankle a little bit, but he looked good out there. He really helps us with defense and rebounding. All the other things are given to a point guard, but defense and rebounding is really improving.
But just how much does it alleviate for Karras? Do you see a stark difference at all when they're together?
They've been playing together for a while now, and they really play well together. I mean, that's his 3rd straight year they've been starting together, and that does make a big difference. I think you made a great point.
Right in the middle with Adam, Coach.
John, kind of along those same lines, did you see what you wanted to see out of Derek? You said that he was, really flowing on a lot of adrenaline tonight. But
Yeah,
it seemed to
yeah,
be moving
there's so many
sharply.
areas all of our guys are still working with, and guys like Derek, he missed a big portion of his development when he was gone from the end of January all the way to this summertime. So there's still a lot of things that he has to work on, but he's got a really good attitude, and I think he's really, I think he really appreciates right now what it's like to play at Michigan, and that the days are counting down, right? That now he's in game 10 of his junior year, and how many games do I have left over the next 2 years?
I asked him about, because it was the NC State game, and just sitting out these past few games and kind of just looking at it, and he said he'd try to remain as engaged as possible.
Yeah, I think he can learn the game that way, and that he's becoming a better student of the game every day that he plays. And very, his defense right now, his angles, as I said yesterday, his GPS seems to be changing, that he's getting to understand those parts of the game. It's not just playing hard, which he's generally done, it's playing smart at the same time. You can play hard and give the wrong angle and give up layups.
Nick?
John Duncan played 38 minutes. Obviously, this is his first year at this level. It's 11 games in.
Yeah.
He hasn't seen Big Ten play yet. Are you confident he can go 30-plus minutes for 30 games?
Yeah,
Season is-
I think it's gonna be more in that 30 range right now. I kept asking him, Nick, every time out, are you okay, are you okay? But we had a matchup there that Zach was playing that there's still because of the way 25 shot the ball, because of the driving angles, he was really good at doing what he had to do in that game, and we could shore up our defense. But 38's not gonna happen very much.
But in terms of his physical condition, are you confident that he can go like 30 throughout for like 30 games?
I think he did it, in Division III, he did it all the time, and I know it's different competition, but he's a different body right now than he was a couple of years ago. But that won't be the norm. I mean, I think we've always wanted 32 to 35 for the guys that are, the key performers right now, and I think that's what we'll settle down to. Today, there was just points in the game I felt I wanted to go to the bench, and there was a timeout called, and I just said, no, I want to put these guys away. I don't want this to get back to, because their stuff was so hard for us to guard. I just worried that all of a sudden it gets 8 points and anything could happen in the last 4.
Swing back over here with Tony.
John, it hasn't been the easiest year for Mark, but now.
Yeah.
He seemed pretty active, especially early today. I mean, how good was that
Well,
for you to see?
Yeah, you earn your time in practice, and yesterday he had just a terrific day in practice. He threw in 3 right-handed hooks and 1 left-handed hook, and he battled on rebounds. And, we've been talking to him about this, because there's a reason he's got a scholarship in Michigan. We saw some ability, some talent in him, and it's in there, but he's got to bring it, and he did that today.
Here with Simon.
You mentioned before, but with Billups, how far out of the base from really being able to handle a guy like him?
I don't think anybody in the country, really, there's very few people in the country can handle Billups one-on-one. We didn't know he could pass like that, because the first time we were ready to give help. But the kid averaged only 68 points a game last year. He's a marked man. He's been around, whether it's, like I said, this team played Xavier the exact same way they played us, exact same game. That they have just enough bullets in that gun, they can stay with a lot of people. And in their league, obviously, they gotta go to Oakland, and they gotta go to some really tough places, Detroit, and play. But they're gonna make this rise with that talent they have right now. They got a good team.
Mark?
Knowing you had Derek and as close to a lineup as you're gonna have, I guess when DJ comes back, but for the most part, I mean, were you kind of thinking ahead a little bit? I want to see what this looks like together, because you haven't had that chance over the last couple weeks.
When we did Derek
But
and.
now that Derek's back, I mean, going into tonight, you wanted to
We're
experiment.
getting in prep for the Big Ten. We've given a lot of people chances to play in practice and game, and we're getting ready for the Big Ten. We gotta get a rotation down. Who fills in for who works? So I wanted, Derek has missed, 3 or 4 games in a couple of weeks.
Right.
We wanted to get that heart rate up there and get him really feeling confident as he goes to the next game. And if you do that and you build it up, you take a week for Christmas, right? All of a sudden, you got hopefully we got a rhythm to us. I think you remember back in November, you saying, do we have a rhythm? I said, we don't have a rhythm yet. I think we're starting to develop that right now, and I wanted to establish that. That's why we played such a short bench.
You're looking at combinations too, who plays well with who, because you haven't had to see
Yeah,
that.
a little bit. I mean, not too much.
No.
I mean, those guys they see each other pretty well. I'm just trying to get a timing of our action done and know who can perform the action. That's the big thing. right? We gotta work at, just watching Duncan the way we played him, we gotta get ways to get him open and get him in ball screens to get him open too. He's shooting the ball behind the ball screen now, that's a good sign.
Back over here with Sam.
Seems like Zach Irvin has gone from a freshman who almost just shot threes to now tonight he takes 8
Yep.
shots and none of them are threes. How do you get him to do both things at the highest level?
Well, he's regaining confidence right now in his outside shot. If you follow his stats, he was very hot, he cooled off last year at some points, worked back. He hasn't felt good about it, so I just, when you're open, right, you gotta be ready, you gotta trust all the practice that you've done, right? He didn't really get that open today. And so, when they pressed us the one time, a dribble three against the press is probably not the best shot. He stepped on the line anyhow, but that was in and out, so we like that.
All right, Coach, thank you.
All right, thank you.